I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Education of Homewood School District 153 for Monday, July 12th, 2021. Roll call, please.
Mr. Booth?
Here.
Mrs. Marks?
Here.
Mrs. Buffet?
Here.
Mr. Schmidt?
Here.
Mr. Zimmerman? Mrs. Havikhorst?
Here.
Mr. Bosch?
Here.
6 present.
Thank you. Mr. Zinnerman is on his way. We have approval of the minutes from the public hearing of June 14, 2021, and the regular meeting of the Board of Education of June 14. Are there any additions or corrections to either set of minutes? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And before we move on, I do want to mention that we may look a little bit different tonight than we normally do. You can see our faces again. We have all certified that we've been vaccinated, and we are following the procedures that we put in place for our staff and students as we move forward in the school year. I think Dr. McAllister will be addressing that a little bit more, but I did want to point out before we get any further in the meeting why you are seeing us without masks for the first time in a very long time. Okay, we have future dates.
Yes, future dates. Today was the beginning of our second half of summer school, so Session B began today. And again, we have several hundred kids who are participating in that. And then, hard to believe, we're about 5 weeks away from the start of school. So our new staff orientation is August 11th and 12th, where we'll be bringing in all the new staff members that we've hired. We also have a luncheon planned with HF, District 233, and Flossmoor District 161 for all the new staff members at Olympia Fields Country Club on July 29th. So that's a nice way to welcome them to our community. So we're looking forward to that.
Great, thank you. Okay. Any presentations tonight?
There are none.
All righty. Audience participation. Okay, we have no one in the audience, so we have no participation. And do we have any responses to questions raised at previous meetings?
No, we do not.
Any board members have any committee meetings or any other meetings that you would like to report on tonight? Okay. Superintendents report.
Yes, so a few things to share. First of all, this will be the last meeting that the Board of Education is utilizing the old-fashioned paper packets that you see here. So one of the things that we're excited to introduce to District 153, not only for our Board of Education, but also for our families, is Board Docs. And Board Docs is basically an electronic agenda and minute-keeping system. Several school districts in the area utilize Board Docs, and we plan to do that beginning with the August meetings. So that will enable all of our families, as well as our board members, to be able to see the agenda from home, to be able to follow along. It'll just make the processing of a meeting much more efficient. So we're excited to introduce that in August. Also, as I mentioned, summer school started today, the second half, so we have 3 weeks completed, and we're starting week 4 today, so we're excited about that. And then the big news, we've been waiting patiently from the state for some new guidance regarding the reopening of schools. And the last time the state had provided that guidance was March 9th. And so a lot of things have changed largely due to vaccinations. And so just Friday, July 9th, 3 days ago, the Illinois Department of Public Health came out with a proclamation that basically said we are fully adopting the recommendations of the Centers for Disease Control. And the biggest recommendation from CDC came down to the wearing of masks, which again, Ms. Marks alluded to tonight, but basically what that allows us to do is for individuals who are fully vaccinated, students and staff, if we have verification of vaccination, we can now be inside a building without a mask. So that is a big change in guidance. At this point, we still do not have the details from IDPH. They'll kind of spell out some of those things that will enable us to better plan for the fall. But at this point, certainly the mask issue was a big one that a lot of people had questions about. And so correspondence went home to our families yesterday as we thought through how to best adhere to that guideline. So that email went home to our families and to our staff. So we are spending this week basically confirming those who have been vaccinated, and starting next Monday, the 19th, our intent is to now have individuals, again, who are fully vaccinated, able to not wear a mask. They're still able to wear a mask if they so desire. We're obviously not going to tell people they can't wear a mask, but for those who have been fully vaccinated, the ability to be inside without a mask is the big change that was informed to us on Friday. At this point, for registration, we're still processing all of our students. We're at just over 81% of the families that we are expecting who have either completed the process or have started the process. So that's good news. We're pleased with that. 5 weeks to go, though, we still have another 19% that we're expecting. And so we're going to be reaching out to those families with phone calls to remind them to get registered for school. And we are still continuing with our shield testing protocols. We are planning to do that pilot starting next week. So at this point, we have had information went home to our families, and they were able to basically provide consent for their child to take part in the Illinois Shield test. So again, that is a saliva-based test that we will be doing with our students and staff who choose to participate. And the goal, of course, is to identify asymptomatic individuals. In those places that have utilized the Shield test, including the University of Illinois all last school year, as well as several K-12 districts, a lot of success in reducing quarantining numbers as well as positivity rates. And then the last thing I'll mention regarding positivity rates, again, the proof of the success of vaccinations is very evident. So in our community, we have a positivity rate that has been less than 1%. Certainly for the last week and the preceding weeks. And that's super news as we're talking about reopening our schools. So all those mitigation measures that we want to do, that we need to do to ensure a safe return for our students and staff, we're going to do everything we can. So we are excited about that, and the planning will continue. But I did want to let people know about those big events that have happened the last week.
And I just want to reiterate that with proof of being fully vaccinated, students who are 12 and older, because you have to be 12 or older to be vaccinated, and staff will be able to be in the buildings should they choose without a mask. Given our start date, anyone who receives a vaccination this week will be able to begin school without a mask. But if anyone waits until after this week, then they will not be fully vaccinated when we begin school and will have to wait to take their mask off. So if you know anyone who's still thinking about it or has been delaying, this is a really good time to get it done this week.
And Jewel Osco offers walk-in appointments. So
Yes.
not that I'm pushing them. You can get to lots of places, but we do know they offer walk-ins.
Right. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have several consent agenda items tonight. The first is to authorize the chief school business official to pay the usual and customary bills for August 2021. The second is the personnel report. Is there anything on the personnel report that you would like to highlight?
I'll just mention several staff members, our principals, continue to find great staff to join us this fall. We've talked before, it's becoming an increasingly competitive market for staff. So we're thrilled to be able to get people with a lot of experience who are excited to come to Homewood School District 153. So I'll just mention the certified staff members and some of the assistants that we have coming on board. Chelsea Jones at James Hart, Melissa Losnadal, Dana Musherbash, Michelle Davis, Jackie DeMarco, and Mary Rymack. Those are three individuals who were certified staff members. They all retired and are coming back to work in District 153 as assistants, and we're really excited to get people of that quality, our own staff, that have worked with us for several years to come back as assistants. And then we were able to also hire this evening an EL teacher at James Hart, Maria Semino, and then a special ed assistant at James Hart, James Fields. So welcome to those individuals, but we're excited to bring new people on board.
Great, thank you. We need to approve the executive session minutes of February 1st, February 8th, and March 15th. We need to approve the CLIA waiver and consent to the district as a testing site.
Yeah, so basically, if we are going to, any school in Illinois that wants to do the shield testing and also the Binax Now, and the Binax Now is the rapid test, the nasal swab. If you want to be a testing site, the state requires that you get a waiver in order to do so. So we applied for that. It's a pretty standard process, but we just present that for approval this evening.
And then, any questions on that? No. Okay. We need to authorize to sell or dispose of district property.
Yeah, those are textbooks. As we bring in new curriculum materials, the old ones need a new home, and we were able to find a buyer for some of our old books, and the ones that were not will be recycled.
Great, thank you. So are there any questions on any items on the consent agenda? Is there a motion to approve?
Moved upon the recommendation of the superintendent that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda as presented in items 10A, 10B, 10C, 10D, and 10E.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Gosh,
Yes.
Mrs. Buffet. Yes. Mr. Schmidt,
Yes.
Mrs. Hackworth,
Yes.
Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Mrs. Marks.
Yes. Motion carries. We have two action agenda items. The first is the second payment of June 2021 bills and the first payment of July 2021 bills. Are there any questions on any of the bills? Is there a motion to approve?
Moved upon the recommendation of the chief school business official and the superintendent that the Board of Education authorize the second payment of June 2021 bills and the first payment of July 2021 bills in an amount not to exceed $4,901,855.78.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Buffet.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt,
Yes.
Mrs. Hackworth,
Yes.
Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Mr. Gosh,
Yes.
Mrs. Marks.
Yes. Motion carries. And we have the employment report, which Dr. McAllister just shared with us. I do want to mention that at least one of our new teachers is a James Hart alumni, so we always love welcoming our alumni back home. And I also want to echo what Dr. McAllister said, that we have 3 recently retired teachers who are going to be back in the building, still working with our students as aides. So we're very lucky when we get such highly qualified and talented people back to work with us. And we're thrilled that they will be here. Okay, are there any questions on the personnel report?
No.
Is there a motion to approve?
Moved upon the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Education approve the employment of Chelsea Jones, Melissa Rosendahl, Dana Marsharbush, Michelle Davis, Jacqueline DeMarco, Mary Rymack, Maria Semino, and James Field effective August 17th, 2021 upon the terms recommended by the superintendent, conditioned only upon receipt of a satisfactory criminal background report and upon receipt no later than August 1st, 2021 of evidence of proper legal qualifications for the position to be filled.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Schmidt,
Yes.
Mrs. Hackworth,
Yes.
Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Mr. Gosh,
Yes.
Mrs. Buffet.
Yes.
Mrs. Marks.
Yes. Motion carries. Is there any written communication to the board?
Yes, there is. We have a thank you card from Michelle Klubchak. Dear Shelley and School Board, I wanted to thank you for the beautiful crystal apple. It's a wonderful reminder of my years in 153. Thank you for all you've done for me during my years at Willow. Sincerely, Michelle Klubchak.
Thank you. Okay. We are going to suspend our board meeting. We'll need a motion to do that so that the board can have a little workshop on how to use board docs. And then we will come back into the board meeting, and there will be a motion to go into executive session to discuss the superintendent's evaluation and performance. And then we will return to open session only to adjourn. So we will not be recording from here on this evening because there's nothing happening for anyone to see. But I do need a motion to suspend the board meeting at this time.
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Hatterhurst,
Yes.
Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Mr. Bosch,
Yes.
Mrs. Bethay. Yes. Mr. Schmidt,
Yes.
Mrs. Marks.
Yes. Motion carries.